Well, believe it or not, Christmas is in just a few days. On Sunday morning, over 1 billion people around the world are going to be celebrating the birth of a man named Jesus. And Jesus, without a doubt, is the most popular figure in all of human history. Now, there's a lot of key characters during the Christmas story. Of course, we have Joseph, and we have Mary, and we have the baby, the child Jesus who's born. We have the manger scene, you got the shepherds, you have the wise men that come from the east. And during this season, people are looking down at the manger. But I'm going to challenge you this week to do something different. Instead of looking down, I want you to look up. Literally, as you leave your house in the morning on the way to work. This morning, I left at about 6:30. I looked up, and there was Jupiter in the night sky, and I could see the constellation of Orion. And it just reminded and affirmed to me how much work and how much effort God put into creation. Would you believe me if I told you that God loved us so much that He literally created the universe to display signs in the heavens to tell us about key events in human history? Well, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, God says this: "Let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from night, and let them serve as" what? "Let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years." Now, when you read this, I think we miss what God is really trying to say. We look at the universe and we see there's hundreds of billions of stars and galaxies and constellations and all of these amazing things in the heavens. But why did God put it there in the first place? Well, let's look at a couple of words here. Back in Genesis 1:14, God said, "I'm going to take the sun, the moon, and the stars that are in the heaven, and I'm placing there, but they're not there just for aesthetic purposes. They're not just pretty to look at, and yes, they are. When there's a full moon, wow, it's beautiful. When it's a clear night, wow, it's beautiful. But God says there's a greater purpose for why I've put them in the sky. In fact, He said they're to serve as signs to mark days and years." So they're a calendar, and we have myriad of collections from the ancient world where they would use the constellations to map out the days and the times. But more than that, God said that I have made them to mark sacred times, special times. I don't know about you, but the birth of Jesus, the birth of the Messiah, the birth of the Son of God, I think that would definitely qualify as a sacred or as a special time. And think about this. Whether the universe is 5,000 years old, 5 billion, however old it is, before the foundations of the earth, God put a plan in motion. God timed celestial objects in the sky to align on a certain day of the year so that men in the east would see those signs and they would follow it, and it would lead them to the birth of the Messiah. God loved us so much that He literally designed the universe to tell us these incredible events. And all this week, I'm going to be teaching on the great story that God has put in the stars. And on Friday, we're going to end with the actual birth of Christ. It's going to be fantastic, so make sure you join us.